All right, taking off out of Torrington, and we're going to fly to Scottsbluff. Here we go. Power's in. Brake off. Flaps are up. Okay, so here's my flight plan from Torrington to, okay, so here's my instruction. 7263 Whiskey, hold northeast on 270 radial of BFF 20 DME. Okay, so here's the KBFF VOR, here's 20 DME, and I'm going to be on the northeast side of it. And they didn't say anything about turns, so I assume right turns. Okay, so then my holding pattern is going to look so northeast of that DME point. So my holding pattern is going to look like that with right turns. Okay. So we've got a trick in foreflight. Let's bring back up foreflight. Okay. I can add in BFF 270 20. Okay, BFF slash 270 slash 20. There it is. Okay, so it adds that point on the 270 radial from KBFF. So I drew a line from here through 270 out 20. Now I have added that point on my foreflight, and then I can think in my mind, so we can draw on this, or I don't see a way to draw on this, that I'm going to be doing circles on that 270 radial right in here. Okay, so now let's fly it. Okay, so I'm out here cruising along, climbing up to 7,500, and I'm headed right now. My flight plan is, okay, there we go. Now we're direct Scottsbluff. Okay, now I just got the holding pattern instructions for the 270 radial. Okay, hold northeast on the 270 BFF 20 DME. Okay, so what I'm going to do, a trick with the 430 is to use the OBS feature. Okay, but I'm going to use the OBS feature from the Scottsbluff VOR, not the Scottsbluff Airport. So I need to give myself direct to the Scottsbluff VOR, okay, which is not KBFF, it's just BFF. So let's go back here and do direct to BFF. Okay, so there's the Scottsbluff VOR, okay. All right. And so you can see that if I zoom out here. So there it is. Scottsbluff VOR is different from the Scottsbluff Airport. Okay, and we're coming up on 7,500, so we'll level out here. And we're turning on course to the Scottsbluff VOR. Okay, now I want to go on the 270 radial. I hit the OBS key. Now what it does is it draws a line, if I zoom out here, right through that VOR based on where I have my CDI set. So I want it on the 270 radial. Okay, so I've got down here in the from 270. Okay, means a direct to heading of 090. Okay, I need to put my fields on here so I can see them. Most time they're going to be turned on automatically. Okay, I see that my distance from the Scottsbluff VOR is now 22, and that line is that radial. Zoom in. So I'm going to go intercept that radial, and I'm going to fly at the 20 DME mark. Now I need to think about my pattern entry. Okay.
In our case, the outbound course is 045. Now, it starts to get interesting, but it's very easy, don't worry. So let's say you're flying towards the Joe VOR on heading 120. Now use your little compass rose or your actual heading indicator in your plane. Draw an imaginary line from the middle towards heading 120. Then use your right thumb, because we're requested to perform right turns in the holding. So put your right thumb at a 90-degree angle to your current heading, so 210. Slightly move it upwards so that the bottom part of your thumb matches the 210 and your thumb covers 20 degrees above the 210. Draw a line from that point diagonal through the center to the other side of the compass rose. Now you can see you've divided the compass rose into 3 different parts. Now memorize, above your thumb is the teardrop sector, opposite your thumb is the parallel sector, and below is the direct entry sector. Once you've established that, you then place your outbound course into your compass rose, so in our example 045, check which sector it's in, and bam, you've got your holding entry. So in our case...
Okay, so the outbound heading is going to be, this is 270, the outbound heading will be 090. So go over here, bring back up my... So we're going to go outbound heading, get a little high, outbound heading of 090. Okay, slide up from here. So there's my teardrop, there's my parallel, there's my direct. Okay, so we're going to do a parallel entry. So you can see I'm just about on it. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and fly till we intercept the radial. Okay, so I'm waiting for my CDI to come in here. I'm going to zoom in a little bit, get this a little closer. CDI should be coming in here shortly. There we go, it's moving. Okay, I'm actually past my point right now, but I can turn. Okay, I'm going to turn to a heading of 090. I'm going to intercept as that guy comes in there. Going down a little bit, try to level off, so I'm at 75. Okay, so timer. Say the second hand was on the 9. Okay. There we go. My CDI is centered. Come in here to a course of 090. I was a little late intercepting it. We'll fly outbound here. Okay, I'm holding northeast on the 270 radial, and I'm doing a parallel entry. Okay, so my parallel entry is going to be, I'm going to fly this way, and then I'm going to do a complete turn here, come back in there, re-intercept it, and then I'll be established in the hold with right turns. Okay, so my parallel entry starts with a left turn. Here's my second hand's coming around to my 9. So I'm going to start my left turn, standard rate turn, and we're going to come all the way around, what is it, 270 degrees? 270 degrees is going to be about a southbound heading, or a southwestbound heading. Trying to keep that at a standard rate turn. Trying to keep myself level about 7.5. A little more bank there. Okay, so it's going to take me about, what, a minute and 15 seconds to make this turn. So probably about the time the second hand is at the 12. Okay, I like that heading. I'm going to level off here, and we're going to wait for my CDI to, I can see I'm on the intercept course for that radial. Wait for my CDI to recenter. I look at my distance here. Remember when that equals 20 is when I'm going to start my first real pattern turn, right? And I want to be back to a heading of 270. I see my course is coming back in. I'm going to start my turn, looking for 270. Letting my CDI come center. I'm going to turn out a little bit early because I'm not quite on that heading. Okay, so that'll give that time to come in. I got 2 miles to fly this. Okay, I'm on the 270 radial. I'm going to do turns to the northeast and waiting for that to be 20 on the 20 DME. Okay, I'm on a heading of 270, 7,500. 1 mile to go. CDI is slightly off, not really enough to worry about. I can turn to the left just gently. Half a mile. I'm going to grab my time. Two tenths. And there we go. So 10 seconds till we start our turn. Standard rate turn to the right. Should take us about a minute to make this turn. Trying to keep our altitude. And now this is my first turn established in the hold. Due east heading, it's coming around, and there's my due east heading. Roll out. Timer's at the 45-second mark. Okay, we're going to fly this heading for a minute. If I had any wind correction angle to make, I would make that now. If I had any tailwind, headwind, I would be correcting for that. So I'm getting 1 minute legs inbound to my fix. Zoom in here on my 430. Help me visualize that. CDI is offset, obviously not on the radial this time. Let that second hand get up here to 10 seconds before. There we go. Start my turn. Standard rate turn. Watching my CDI come in. I want to roll out on that western heading with that CDI centered. And I'm going to roll out a little bit early because I see my CDI is not going to be centered. And I'll fly just a little bit south while I wait for that CDI to come in. And you see my CDI is acting backwards because I have the 90 and the 2 and the 27 and 0 in the front. If I flip that all the way around, then it would act. There we go. 270. There it is. Okay, now I need to fly to the right to get that. And I'm waiting for my DME to come back to 20. And this is where I'm going to see how much time it took me, right? So I'm going to need, my inbound leg was a little bit longer than a minute, so I can cut my outbound leg by 10 seconds or so. But I'll get clear back to my point here before I begin my turn. And just about there. Okay, there we go. So that's the hold.